Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering a food resupply plan for a southbound hiker on the Arizona Trail. We're going to try to do this as quick and as efficient as possible. So let's get into it, guys. Stick to the end where I'll tell you exactly what I would do on a southbound hike. The trail begins at State Line Campground on the border of Utah and Arizona. Most people transport into Page, Kanab, St. George, or Big Water in order to try to get them to the beginning of the trail. You should be starting the trail with some food to begin with. How much you start with is up to you, but I would get you enough food to at least get you to the Grand Canyon. The first place that you're going to be stopping at that has some type of food is mile 26.9, which is Jacob Lake. It's about 2 miles off trail. They have a restaurant and a very small gift shop that you could top off your food there, but there is definitely not a full resupply. Like I said, there is fresh food. So that is mile 26.9. The next place that you could possibly get some food is at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, which is mile 77. There is a general store located over near the campground, which I highly recommend you stay at. It's one of the best views of the Grand Canyon that you're going to get, and they have a really nice campsite allocated for the Arizona THRU-HIKERs. Right next to that, like I said, there's a general store. It is very overpriced because it's North Rim, and it's not the best supply. You could definitely top off. You can get meals and stuff like that, but it will cost you a pretty penny. Next stop is mile 90, which is the Phantom Ranch at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's not really a whole lot here offered for us, but you can get some small snacks, chips, Snickers, Gatorades, Cokes, coffee. They have iced tea and lemonade with refills that are $1. Used to be free. But yeah, that's the next step right on trail. So you definitely should hit that up. It's a historic place. You can even mail a postcard from the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It will come out by mule, the only place in the United States still to do so. 9 miles later, when you hit the south rim, you'll have the Grand Canyon Village. And at the Grand Canyon Village, there's a full resupply at the market and even a post office located directly next door. So you could choose to do either or, but there is a full resupply, and for a national park, I'd say it's relatively cheap. Mile 105.3 is Tucson. This is the next town that you'll be walking directly through. This is a gateway town to the Grand Canyon and is very expensive because of this. They have a McDonald's. There is a market there. I believe there's a Wendy's, a cinema. I mean, there is 100% a full resupply there, but you're going to pay very, very dearly for it. So I highly recommend not to even stop there. The south rim of the Grand Canyon itself was cheaper, so you should be getting everything you need there. Mile 207 is Flagstaff. There's two different ways that you can enter into Flagstaff. Most people take the urban route because it's more direct, but there is another route that goes circular around. Within Flagstaff, this is 100% a full resupply. There's everything your little hungry heart hiker trash would desire, so no need to worry about sending a box to Flagstaff. Mile 258.4 is Mormon Lake. Mormon Lake doesn't really have a whole lot there. In fact, it doesn't even have a lake most of the years. But there used to be a post office, which is in fact closed. It's permanently closed. It's not going to reopen. So mailing a box to Mormon Lake is impossible now. The lodge had said that they will accept packages, and that has been changing because the ownership has been changing. It has been said this year, 2023, that UPS packages can be shipped, but I would definitely check in with the lodge first prior to just sending a package. Make sure that you're sending a package the way that they want you to receive it. Within the Little Mormon Village, they have a very small general store gift shop, where there is definitely enough there for a top off. There is a saloon next door that when it's open does serve some small foods, and then the pizzeria as well, when it's open, does obviously serve pizza. Be sure to check the hours prior to arriving. Like I said, it's in the middle of nowhere, and it would hate to be disappointing you when you arrive there to find out that it's closed. It is weird hours, so make sure you check into prior to going. Pine is mile 331. Located in Pine is lots of restaurants, pizza place, bar, brewery, and even a breakfast place. Unfortunately, there is only one market, and that market is not cheap. I would recommend just hitching into Walmart, which is located in Payson. The next town listed on Far Out or Gut Hook as a possible resupply is mile 402.7, which is Payson. It has you getting off at Sunflower, which is Highway 87, which is the Beeline Highway. It is very difficult to get a ride out there. Sunflower is like a car junkyard place. There's nothing there. There is a trailhead. If you're lucky, someone's at the trailhead and they'll give you a ride. But other than that, it's not really a great place to get a ride. So I highly recommend, whatever you do, to go to Payson from Pine and not from this location. Roosevelt Marina at mile 443. Now, out of the 4 times that I've hiked this trail, I have not had a good experience at all. But from the hikers that I've talked to this year, 2023, as southbound hikers, it seems that they've changed and that they are more friendly to hikers. So at the place, you can send a box. They do charge, but I've heard that they're kind of doing it on a case-by-case basis, so call beforehand before sending a box there. Within the place itself, it is a very, very limited supply. It's almost like a bodega. There is a restaurant located right next door, and then there's a hiker shed that has solar charging that never worked for me, but I've been told that this year that it does work, so there's a little shed there. Within the shed, there's solar charging. That is technically the hiker box, and there's a little shaded area where you can hang out. Additionally, down the road is a town called Pumpkin Center, and in Pumpkin Center, there is an IGA and a Dollar General. A hitch would be required to access both of these places. At mile 487, you have the highway that would lead you to Superior. You would require a hitch, or you can get a ride for one of the 2 amazing trail angels, Al or MJ, that are located in that area. In Superior itself, there's not really a whole lot for a resupply. There are 2 small markets that aren't really hiker accommodating. If you're going to Superior, it's because you need a place to stay and you're going to be staying with the Trail Angels. Other than that, I would hold off and wait to get to Kearny. Mile 523, Kearny. Kearny has a Family Dollar and a market which has a deli that you can get some stuff made there. There is 100% a full resupply. There is a pizza place, Old Time Pizza. They will most likely give you a ride into town. If you call them, they will pick you up, or one of the other friendly people from this amazing town will pick you up. There's one place to stay, which is the Kearny Inn. I find this to be the nicest town on the entire Arizona Trail, and in the 4 times that I've done this trail, I always stop at this town. Oracle would be the next stop, and there are 2 different ways that you can access Oracle from the trail. The first being at mile 580, which is Highway 77, and then the second being at American Flag Trailhead at mile 586. Within Oracle itself, it's a very elongated town, so you kind of have to choose where you want to go. The restaurants and stuff are kind of spaced out. The post office is far away from the Dollar General. But there is a Dollar General, and there's a Circle K located right next to it, and then a Mexican restaurant right across the street. A hitch will be required to access all these, but there is a full resupply that you could do in that town. Additionally, at the Circle K, there is an Amazon retrieval box, so you could send a package to yourself via Amazon and pick it up there if you needed to. At mile 600, you have Summerhaven, which is a small little town located on Mount Lemmon, which is the furthest southern ski resort in the United States of America. In Summerhaven, there really isn't a whole lot. There is a little cookie house. There is a small general store. You could do a top off there. I don't think it's a full resupply. Additionally, there is a post office there. That you could send a box, which has really obscure hours. Make sure you check the hours before sending a box to that location. The next town that you'll be getting a resupply will be Tucson. Now, Tucson is a very large city and can be accessed from multiple different places, as early as mile 622. Again, you could do it at mile 664 at Colossal Cave, and ultimately the last place you could access it is 676, which is technically Vail. It's completely up to you which way you want to access the town to. I would think that the easiest way to get into town to get a resupply would be at mile 676, which is Saharita Trailhead, which will be getting you into Vail. You could also send a box to yourself at Colossal Cave. Colossal Cave is very cool. They have a place for Arizona thru hikers to camp. They have prickly peared margaritas and prickly pear ice cream. And it's a cave, so it's definitely a cool place, literally, to spend an afternoon. Patagonia, mile 731.5. In Patagonia itself is a very small hippie town. It is very cool and hip. There are only 2 small markets. One's kind of a health food nut place, and then the other place is a general store, convenience store. Both of these places are mediocre as far as resupply, but at this point, you're so close to the border, it should be no problem to just get a small top off to get you to the terminus at the Mexican border. Additionally, the small town has a pizza place and several Mexican places and a couple breakfast spots as well that I would highly recommend on grabbing some fresh food before you finish the trail. On all of my southbound ventures, I chose to do this food resupply. I started the trail with enough food to get me to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. At the south rim of the Grand Canyon, 2 times I chose to send a box. The 3rd time I chose to resupply in the store. If I were to do it again, I would resupply in the store for efficiency purposes. I would hike southbound from there with enough food to get me to Flagstaff, which has a full resupply, and I would choose to resupply in the Safeway just located off of the Urban Route Trail. The next place I would choose to resupply would be Pine, and from Pine I would hitch into Payson, which has a Walmart where I would be able to get a full resupply for way cheaper than I would be able to get it in Pine. Because the carry is so large from Pine to Kearny, I would use the Marina of Roosevelt Lake as a small top-off. I would use the hiker box if there was any food there, and I would get some fresh food from the restaurant and continue to head south, with the next stop being Kearny, where I would do a full resupply at the Family Dollar. Now, I've gone into Oracle 3 out of the 4 times that I've done the trail, and it's a pain in the butt. So if I were to do this trail again, I would probably just choose to walk right past Oracle and continue to hike southbound. I would then resupply in the town of Vail, which is located off of the Saharita Trailhead, which is at mile 676, and I would do a full resupply on the Safeway before getting back on trail. Last town is Patagonia. Trail used to go through the town, now they've done a reroute. I would still go to the town and pick up a small bottle of tequila to celebrate down at the border. Congratulations, guys, if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate it. And if you made this far on the trail, you're just a few more miles to hitting to that Mexican border. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I have a whole bunch of other videos on the Arizona Trail, so be sure to take a look at those. Like, subscribe, share if you feel free. And happy trails. This is Cav saying out until the next adventure. Peace.